I have one simple question to ask you. Is your current environment encouraging growth or is it hindering your growth? Let's have a chat. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited that you're here. Okay, I want to keep this video short and sweet so I don't lose my point, so let's get into it. So I've had this sore at the top of my mouth for the past week and it just seems like it would not go away. Every time I was eating food or drinking water, anything, it just kept burning. And we were in church this past Sunday and I was feeling the sore and I was like, wow, this thing still hurts. And I thought about how it had been going on for too long. It hurts. And I thought about how it had been going on for too long and in that moment, the came to my mind is like the location is not ideal for healing. When you have some type of sore or some type of scar on your skin that's outward, air is normally hitting it, it's not touching so much moisture. The most moisture it might get is maybe when you're in the shower or you're applying lotion, but for the most part it's able to stay dry. But this sore, because it was in my mouth and there's constant saliva going on in my mouth and it's constantly moist, it makes it hard to heal. And that's why I wanted to make this video to ask you, is your location ideal for healing? Is your environment encouraging healing or is it hindering your healing? We all have some form of hurt or pain that we're dealing with in life. And oftentimes we're trying to heal in the same place where we got hurt. Location is very, very vital in your healing process. You can't take the proper steps in healing but still stay in the same place that you were hurt. And I'm also going to talk about environment when it comes to progress as well. But it'll be like an alcoholic telling themselves they want to quit drinking, but yet they keep going to the bar. There's a reason why they separate them away from their normal day-to-day life. They're in a new environment that fosters and encourages their healing process, that teaches them the 12 steps, that teaches them why they probably shouldn't need alcohol, that goes through the different process for their healing. They're not still surrounded by the thing that caused their issues. And that sort just kept coming back into mind because I'm like, why is this thing not healing fast? I had to realize that it wasn't an environment that encouraged its healing process. It was an environment that was actively fighting against it. So if you're going through a moment where you feel like you thought you'd be healed from either trauma or a hurt or some type of pain, and it's not happening like you wanted to, stop for a second and ask, is my environment encouraging my healing? That could be inner healing or physical healing as well. But I also wanted to touch on the topic of the role that our environment plays in our growth. And this is the one that God taught me a little while back. I have a specific day of the week that I don't really go to the salon. That day is just my administrative day. I respond to emails, texts, I work on content for the week, all that administrative stuff. And while I could do that anywhere, my location mattered a lot. Because I used to just be like, oh, I can do this from my bed. And I'll get up, I'll take a shower, I'll eat breakfast, I'll go back to my bed, and I'll tell myself I'm gonna do some work. I will answer maybe an email or two, I'll go on TikTok. I'll maybe edit a content, then I'll go on TikTok. I'll edit maybe another 2 minutes of video and then I'll go on TikTok. I was not in an environment that helped my growth. I was in my bed chilling, and when I'm in my bed, that's the time for me to that's my time where I scroll on TikTok. That's the time where I get comfortable. When I think about my bed, I think about rest. So of course, with me being in my bed and trying to work, I was not gonna work like I needed to be because my mind knows my bed as a place of rest. So I had to make the intentional effort of going to a coffee shop on these days to make sure that I'm actually getting work done, because when I'm in a new environment that's not my bed, I can't necessarily lie down in a coffee shop because one, there's no place to lie down, and number two, I specifically go to coffee shops that there are other people there that are also working. So even if I find myself trying to scroll, I see people click-clacking away at their laptop, I see people picking up calls, I see people doing business things. And even if I find myself in the momentum of trying to scroll through my phone, I'm like, Kemi, the people around you, they're getting stuff done. Lock in and get it done. That simple change of leaving my bed and going to a coffee shop has increased my productivity tremendously, because I am now in a place that I see other people working, I see other people doing good things for themselves. I'm like, Kemi, let me do it for myself. And it's also become like a little fun activity of like, what coffee shop am I gonna go to? I try to go to different ones. That's another way to get out the house and increase growth. And who knows, maybe when I'm in one of these coffee shops, I could meet somebody who's in the same field as me. I could make connections, I could network. I have left an environment that was comfortable for me and moved to a location that fosters growth. And one of the most dangerous places we can be is your comfort zone. Growth does not happen in your comfort zone. When you're comfortable, you're not challenging yourself. Challenge is uncomfortable. Challenging makes your skin want to crawl. Challenge makes your body want to itch a little bit. Like, you are supposed to feel challenge. And you have to know when you've gotten that cycle of, I'm just doing the same thing repetitively and I'm just in my comfort zone. And with comfort zone, it's not always just about location. Sometimes it's about the way you work. Like I said, I had to leave the comfort zone of my bed and go to a coffee shop. Did I always want to wake up early early and pack up my bags and everything and go to a coffee shop and have to sit upright. No, I wanted to stay in my bed. But I knew that my comfort zone was limiting my growth. You have to know when I'm doing the same thing again and there's not a fire under me to grow. Before I go into this next topic, I'm just gonna say, this is not one of those videos of, if you're seeing this, God told me to tell you to move to a different state. God didn't tell me that, and I'm not about to lie to you. However, if you really know how God talks to you and he's telling you to either move to a new location or he's telling you to cut connections off with certain people and leave your comfort zone, please be obedient. There could be a lot of us where our growth is dependent on if we move or if we change locations. There's some of us that the current location we're in, God can't do fully what he wants to do. We have to change our location. We have to change our environment for God to really make us grow in the way he wants us to grow. So know when it's your time to move. Know when it's time to change location. Know when it's time to change that pace. Don't get so comfortable in where you are that God is telling you to move and you don't move. Because one thing about God is sometimes when you're not obedient to him, he will kind of forcefully move you away from somewhere. Sometimes you have to leave your bed and go to a coffee shop. For some, that might be you have to move to a different state. So again, I want to preface, I'm not saying get up and move if God didn't tell you to move. However, some will need to move our physical location, be that be state, job, or whatever the case might be, to go to a new environment that's encouraging growth. Anyway, I want to keep this video relatively short and sweet, and my question to you today, and the question that I want you to ask yourself is just, is my environment encouraging healing? Whether that be physical healing, mental healing, emotional healing. I know you might not necessarily always be able to get away from your family if they're the cause of your hurt and they're the cause of your pain. But I pray that God gives you revelation on how to handle and maneuver that situation so you don't keep going back to a place that's hindering your healing. Also, is your current environment encouraging your growth? You want to grow closer to God, but you're not joining a church community. You want to get in better shape, but you're not going to the gym. You want to meet new people and make new friends, but you don't leave your house. I truly believe in my heart of heart that a lot of us will make a lot more progress and will get a lot more things done in a shorter amount of time if we were to just change our location and change our environment. I literally got done filming a while ago, but I still feel like I wanted to emphasize this topic because I really do believe that if you change your environment, you would change your results. I think sometimes we're thinking that, oh, we're doing the wrong thing, we're not doing the proper thing. However, your environment determines your results. And I really do believe that God sometimes might withhold certain blessings because our environment are not conducive. And I think we all know that God sometimes will not bless you with certain things if he feels like you're not capable of maintaining it, if he feels like you're not going to take care of it. And I think about that also with this, that God might not give you certain things because your environment is actually going to crush that thing. Your environment is going to ruin that thing. And I also think about this when it comes to celebrities. There's some celebrities that they'll get famous, they'll get wealthy, but they came from the hood. But they keep going back to that same environment that they grew up in. However, they now have a different level of blessing. And with that different level of blessing comes a different environment. If they keep going back to that same environment, oftentimes we find them, unfortunately, some of them pass away because they still get caught up in the things from a previous environment. That's also another part of this. You have to know when your blessings are no longer matching your past situation and you move. Those celebrities, yeah, they've come up technically, but their lifestyle and the way they act, it's still as if they haven't come up, and they often get caught up in things that you're like, well, you had money, like you've gotten the blessings, why are you still part of a former thing? And I really pray that God gives us the grace and the strength to leave certain locations and environments that we're just tied to so hardly because we're like, oh, I don't want to leave here, it's so comfortable. But it's like, you can't maintain your blessing here. This place that you're actually in might crush your blessing, or it could be they won't get that blessing until they change their location. Change your location and you change your results. And another aspect of this that I want to talk about is you don't know what is attainable until you change your location. That's why I really want to make travel a priority, because whenever I change my location, whenever I go to a new environment, like this year when I traveled both times, just going on a vacation really encouraged me so much of like, Kemi, this is like, it kind of sets a fire up under you because you're like, wow, this is people's normal day-to-day life. This is a place that people travel to constantly. When you change your location, you get to see the way other people are living life. You get to see your goals that seem like your farthest goals. You see it as people's everyday life, and that inspires you to do and want to seek better. And again, with the coffee shop, I really believe that being on the move sometimes keeps you vigilant. And I know I mentioned the comfort zone, but I really wanted to touch on it, especially towards the end of the year, because I feel like there's two ways people go about this. They look at their goals that they haven't accomplished. They either like, rah, route, I'm gonna get it done. Or they look at it in a different way and they're like, ugh, dang, another year has passed, and they just get comfortable and they get laxed. And I just want to say to somebody, this is not the time to get lax. God can do amazing things in a short period of time. Don't just give up and be like, ugh, I'm not gonna work towards them anymore because the year is over. It's like 2025 is my year. You've been saying that for the past 10 years and it still hasn't been your year. We all guilty of this. I'm just saying. This is not the time to get comfortable. When you're in an uncomfortable place, it really forces you to grow, because you can't just do the same thing day in, day out. You almost strive to make it a new comfort zone, and with you making it a new comfort zone, you can grow in that new location. So while you ask yourself that question today of, is your environment encouraging your growth, or is it a hindrance to your growth? Think about a few things. When was the last time you felt challenged? When was the last time you did something new? When was the last time you stepped outside of your comfort zone? When was the last time you felt like, okay, I really got to get to my goals? And the 3 little steps that I wrote down was: 1, recognize the issue. Number 1, notice that you've been comfortable for too long. Number 2, ask God for guidance on how to move. Like me, it was to try a new coffee shop. And number 3, when you do get that answer, make the change. Growth does not happen in a place of comfort. Change your environment so you can change your result. Okay, now that's it for me. I shall see you in the next one. Bye. Can't believe I came back to record a whole new video.